Hi, I'm not John Landis, and this is Trailers from Hell. Today, we're going to do a movie that is probably surprising for a lot of you. When I was a kid, if my parents came back from a movie and said, that was the worst movie we've ever seen in our life, there was no greater endorsement. And this is the first time I remember that happening. My parents came back from a movie, and I was a little boy, and they said, we just saw the worst movie we've ever seen. It's called Death to Smoochy. And from that moment on, I was dedicated to seeing this movie. And I've already been a massive fan of Danny DeVito's and basically the whole cast. It's one of the best casts of any movie that I've seen, actually, like in terms of like a big studio comedy. And it is an astounding big studio comedy because it is in the worst taste imaginable. I mean, this movie is so offensive. It is aged terribly, and it aged terribly the week it came out. But there is an audacity to it that I find just absolutely intoxicating. And so I'm very excited to talk about Death to Smoochy. Yeah, so this movie wears its R rating very, very well. And actually, I think, all kidding aside, that beautiful Warner Brothers logo, all kidding aside, this is a movie that I think is more relevant today than it was when it came out. Robin Williams, the late great, gives a fantastic performance. Playing just the absolute worst person you've ever met. He's a children's host who, they find out is doing some shady business under the table. He gets fired and becomes hell-bent on taking out his replacement, played by a top-form Edward Norton. And this is just a movie where I just don't know how you can read this script and say, yes, and I'm so grateful that they did. It's just a fever dream of a motion picture. I mean, from top to bottom, you have one of the best casts, all just absolutely going for it. There's Jon Stewart, an early Jon Stewart. Jon Stewart was so embarrassed of this movie, he referenced it when he hosted, I think, the Golden Globes when I was a kid. Catherine Keener, and they really all bring it. This movie is actually funny, and it has such a wonderful kind of madcap screwball premise, and it really goes for broke with it. And all of these things that I'm saying, they might sound like critiques, and in some sense they are, but I also do think that this movie is delightful because it just showcases like the possibilities of cinema, right? It's a movie that's awesome because it surprises you consistently. You never know how low it is willing to go, and it always goes lower than that. And I just think it's wonderful that you can have a movie that is this ill-advised, made by some of the most talented and smartest people in our business, ostensibly. And I just think that that's something to be, kind of celebrated. It's one of the, how did this movie get made examples that I always recommend to people, and I have such a deep fondness for. And I don't think it's so bad it's good. I think this movie is actually good, just in very, very bad taste. And that's my 5-star review with a lot of, qualifications.